what do you expect?
Well, from a Pfizer perspective, I actually think the litigation risk is pretty low, right? They only marketed the drug from 2000 to 2006. And yes, I understand the potential kind of overlap with their, ownership in Haleon, but they marketed over 15 years ago. When they had the drug in hand, they did all the required checks from FDA. They didn't see any of these issues. I think you have to draw a direct conclusion that this chemical does cause cancer. We haven't seen that yet. It may cause cancer, but we don't know. In any ways, when it comes to litigation, you really have to show that intent. I'm not a lawyer. However, it seems that Pfizer seems to be pretty far from the potential litigation risk here.
No, and consumers care about. I mean, anyone that's had heartburn has taken Zantac. So obviously this is going to be key. What's the timeline here, Evan, for some of this litigation? And I know you don't cover the European companies per se.
Right, yeah, for sure. But this litigation will take a long time, right? I think it was just filed. And for what it's worth, this has been in the Pfizer public filings as a risk for several years now. I think it's important to know that this litigation takes time. It's, lawsuits in multiple courts. And of course, then it's subject to appeal. Ultimately, Pfizer, if found liable, could opt to settle. And remember, they're on track to generate over $100 billion in revenue. So even if it's a couple $100 million in kind of litigation risk here, that's a drop in the bucket for what they're generating in sales this year alone.
And given that you don't cover some of the bigger players that are more in the crosshairs here, like a GSK,
right?
Why are the projections so large? Is it because this drug is just so widely used and so widely manufactured?
I think, I looked at some of the commentary on some of the other analyst notes out there. Hard to say where they're getting their numbers from. I think it's probably because it is so widely used or was so widely used, and there could be a potentially large class. But again, going back to the Pfizer, their overlap 2000 to 2006, then spun out to BI, then to Sanofi. So Sanofi's likely the one that's going to have more risk in my view.